Now what we're going to build is the Ducal Stable. Why? It improves tiles, it's maintenance free, and sure, it doesn't give experience to our land units that are not on horses, but nevertheless it's a good building, especially because it's our Polish unique building. Look at the now that we've got our spear here against this horse, we can see that our damage is over double the horse predicted, because we've got a flanking bonus because we've got a warrior next to it, next to the horse on the other side. We get a 30% bonus versus barbarians. That's because we're on difficulty level 5. If you were playing on deity difficulty, which is the maximum difficulty, you don't get any bonus against barbarians. I think the logic being here is that it's to be assumed that the barbarians are not quite as well equipped as you are, or not quite as organised, for example, things like that. And then we have the 50% bonus against mounted units, so if we attack, we did 3 times more damage to them than they did to us. We're not going to attack with our warrior because we want our spear to get experience. Chopping down this forest will give 60 hammers towards Krakow, so we're definitely going to do that. The reason I want to settle over here to the west as well is because look at all these forests. Now we'll have to keep some of them as Augustus Caesar builds the Great Lighthouse, because this part of this land, this terrain here is very, very flat. And flat land means, generally speaking, it's harder to get production. Now as it happens, forests, when they have a lumber mill, produce a reasonable amount of production, so we'll have to keep a few of them. But nevertheless, it's not a bad city location potential anywhere along there. We've got a mine, so Krakow is now not working on unimproved tile, which is perfect. We are, though, going to chop this forest next to it as well. We're actually going to build 2 farms there as it happens. Because even though Krakow does not have that many hill tiles around it, it has some. I might save a couple of forests, but we're not going to save that many of them. Notice how this is outside our territory, by the way, right now, but we can still chop it. But we only get 40 hammers. Now, are we going to get this tile within 9 turns? Oh, we're not, in fact. Okay, we'll chop a different tile. We'll chop... which tile do we want to chop? We'll chop this one. It won't go towards Krakow, but the reason to chop this one, even though it's not in our territory yet, hopefully it will be, surely. Oh, maybe not. Won't do that either. What we'll do is... we'll build another mine. Okay, that's not what I wanted to do, but it'll be fine. We're going to get drill for the spear, because spears are best really used defensively against most units. Defensively, because most units that attack you are not going to be mounted. They're not, because there are a limited number of horses. But it's important nevertheless. Oh wow! I told you. He's a very aggressive guy and not a very subtle guy. Just why did he have to attack right now? Never mind. We're not in a bad shape to take him on, to be honest. We can deflect him pretty easily. I like Shaka's war music though, it is pretty cool. So what we're going to do is move this back one and fire. Now the warrior will be able to take quite a lot of punishment. Sure, it's on plane so it doesn't get a bonus off its defence, but we've got shock too, which is very helpful. And they do not have anything to do with shock, they have a lot of drill. So we should be in good shape there. Warsaw got a 7th population point. We could work the incense. Is that the best tile to work right now? Probably yes, we'll work that. We'll lock that in. Do we want to add something to a queue now? No, probably not. It's not a good use of time. Okay, we'll continue. Oh wow, he has a lot of units. A lot more than I thought, as it happens. We're not in bad shape though, nevertheless, to be honest. What we will do though is do that, and then we'll move back a tile, because I don't want to get attacked by all those melee units at once. The composite bow can take a hit. Can't take many, but it can at least take one. Once these units come back, we'll be fully protected. Let's get a mine in there. But the AI, luckily, is quite dumb. So its warmongering techniques and tactics tend to be a bit Philistine. We'll move back a tile to protect ourselves and we'll continue fortifying. Get this in. There we go. I told you this would be an aggressive map. And we're definitely going to try and take it in a conquest map style. Now that star-shaped unit is the Great General. Robert E. Lee in this case, who I believe is something, don't quote me. Was he American Civil War? Not entirely sure, can't remember. Either way, the Great General gives a combat bonus to all units of that empire within 2 tiles. So all those tiles that we can see, all those units there will get a bonus. So what we're going to do is just move back slightly. Again, just to protect the units a little bit. Going to move the spear over because we want to get the warrior into that tile as well. This is why I was almost tempted to go for ironworking, in fact, because these warriors could become swordmen, and they are a lot stronger. But we're not too worried. Like I said, the warmongering of the AI tends to be quite illogical, so we're fine. I'm going to put that there. We're then going to move this in to improve the strength of Warsaw as it fires. I also like the Polish attacking music. It's very cool. I always fangasm about the music in this game, but it is really, really good. I like it a lot. Okay, so we're going to fire away. Now, even if he pillages that iron, it's not a massive issue, to be honest, because none of our units require iron right now. They will in time, but not right now. We're going to put that into fortification. We're going to fire on the warrior, and then we're going to keep this warrior fortified in the city to make the city stronger. Because if he attacks the city, we want the city to be as strong as possible so it takes less damage and fires more back. See, the warrior attacked the city and killed itself, in fact, which is hilarious. How much damage will that do? 52. That'll do 29. How much will this do? 37. So we'll use the city to take out that archer. We will use our composite bow to attack the spear. We're going to put this here so we can get flanking bonus. Build a farm. Now we could use the warrior in the city to attack, but look at the horrible way it would cope, frankly, because the spears are so much stronger. So we're going to do nothing because I'm well aware he can't take our city this turn. Instead, he's just going to end up mashing his units, which he has done very kindly for us, making this a heck of a lot easier. So what we're going to do is take that out, like so. We're then going to take that out as well. That's 2 units gone. Even though it's a minor defeat, we will attack there. We will put this into fortify to protect ourselves. Our city is still at strength 16, so we've got nothing to worry about. We have slowly erased his army. We're still doing it now. We're going to fortify to heal. We're going to keep firing away. Now I could go out and kill that unit, but I'm not going to because it's too risky. And there's no point losing any of our units in this because there's no way he can win. In fact, he's actually running away. Now that he knows he won't win, he's fleeing. We have civil service as well. Good timing. Is its inefficiency. I like that quote as well. We're in the medieval era. You know what that means. Free social policy because we're in a new era. And what we are going to do... Ooh, I like a lot of these. We are going to... I've not seen any city-states, so there's no point getting patronage. We're going to get piety because we're going to make our religion awesome. And what we're going to do is very carefully being the key word, hunt some of these units down, because we'll get a better bargain when he tries to make peace with us. So now we're going to rush to education. We could go for the military route and then just take Shaka out, but by the time we get to attack him now, trying to avoid getting hiccups there, he'll have rebuilt. And we don't want to attack him in the medieval era because that's where his unique units are. So we will hold back fire for that. What we will do though, I want to build the Chichen Itza if I can in Krakow. I'd also quite like to build the Temple of Artemis in Krakow as well. What we're going to do, we could build the Terracotta Army. And that would be very useful. I think actually we'd be beaten to it, and we get fail gold for losing the wonder halfway through building. So that's a pretty cool way of going about it. We could also get a settler if we were so inclined to get another city out. That's not a bad idea. In fact, that's what we're going to do. We're going to get a settler before we do anything else. We're going to lock that tile in for sure. Notice how the civil service has made this wheat farm even more food productive. That's what we want to see. So we're going to counter-attack him a little bit. He's going to try and retaliate, and we're just going to crush him. We're going to fire away, like that. Put that like that. There we go. Anything else we need to do on this turn? I don't think so, but let's quickly check. No, we don't. The nice sound of... Oh, wow, we killed a unit. Wow, that caught me out. I was being a bit naive, not paying enough attention. Oh dear, that was a bit embarrassing after I said I was being so careful. Not a huge disaster, it was only a warrior, it was the cheapest unit. Had that been my composite bow, I would have been very angry with myself. Now he'll offer us a lot of things, but I don't want all of these. I'd rather have the money. Will he offer us the money if I put it down? Yes, he will. Now, notice how he's hostile towards us now because we've been at war. That doesn't make a huge amount of sense because he declared on us, but there we are, that's the state we're at. It does mean he's more likely to attack us again. The whole reason I took the gold off him, not the resources, was because if he declared war on us again, obviously the resources would go back to him.
Says the Lord.
We now have Petra. You get a food and a production extra on each desert tile. There isn't a floodplain, but we don't have a floodplain, so we don't have to worry about that. We get an additional trade route, and we get a free caravan. And how do caravans work, you may ask? Well, good luck and good news, because I'm going to show you now. This pentagon-shaped unit is our caravan. As it happens, it is a camel. Until we get later on in the game, they are always camels. Now, you may notice we have nowhere to trade to at all. Why is that the case, you may ask? We haven't seen any city-states, and we're too far away from any foreign city to do anything with it. So right now, this physically can't do anything. But what it can do is move home city to Warsaw. So we're going to do that. Next turn we'll be able to interact with it again. So we now have Petra. What we're going to do now is try and build, if we can, if we're lucky, the Temple of Artemis. Why? Notice how Petra gives out something called a Great Engineer Point. So does the Temple of Artemis. A Great Engineer Point will increase the likelihood of receiving a Great Engineer, as you would imply from the name. If we look at Warsaw, for example, we have the Great Library in it, and that gives you a Great Scientist point. And at one point a turn, we're creating a Great Scientist. As it happens, when we were working the market, that gives you 3. But it gives you Great Merchant points, obviously, because it's a market. But as we're not using the market anymore with a member of the public, the population point, it's not growing. In a nutshell, that's how that works. If you want to win culturally, you'll see a lot of people stacking great people as high as they can. That is a plane going past, I believe. As it happens, we're quite near an airport. It's about, I don't know, maybe half an hour walk. So we're not too close. Now we've got the caravan in Warsaw. We can give food out to Krakow. Why? Because we've got a granary. If you have a granary, you can spread food about using your caravans. If you have a workshop, we haven't got to them yet, but you can spread production. So that's how that works. So we're going to give food to Krakow. And if we go into our city, 6¼ food per turn, and as it says there, 9 from the terrain, 4 from trade routes established with this city. So we're giving out food, and it's extra food. It's not food directly from Warsaw to Krakow. It's food that the caravan is creating effectively. And really, that's back already. Trying to pillage my stuff. Ah dear, I'm going to have to take these encampments out before they start being a pain. I'm going to leave the composite bow up here though, not only to fog bust, to make sure barbarians aren't spawned there, but just in case Shaka decides to have a second bite at the cherry and I can see it earlier.